let's go on Tiki-Toki as well. Hi, babe. How are you? Oh my god. What is the tea, guys? While I get ready. G'day. I'm good. I'm okay. I had a rough 2 days, but honestly, not that rough. Like, amongst the flop, there has been slay, but it's just been a while since I've been like I've seen red with rage. I've been raged to the point of red. But otherwise, we're great, you know? How is everyone? What's everyone up to? How's everybody doing? Been getting hate crimes by old men. I'm like moving apartments at the moment, and my landlord, like I told him I was going to be moving. I gave him a month's notice, and he was like berating me for 40 minutes on the phone, like telling me off or like trying to school me. And I'm just like, bro, you're a landlord. Get over yourself. And then I was at a job yesterday, and then another old man was like mansplaining me. I was just like, fuck you guys. I don't need this. You know, men, first in my bloodline, who insist that men give the respect that they act so freaking entitled to. Like, respect is a two-way street, the same way that being an idiot is. Okay, so you want to play stupid games, I'll make sure you get a stupid prize. But honestly, it's not that big a deal. It was just like, I was like, oh, I'm so lucky. My life is generally quite chill. Things go my way and whatever. I'm lucky I don't have to deal with this on a daily basis because, I mean, the world is lucky. I don't have to deal with this on a daily basis. Or I would turn my life into a rage room if people spoke to me like that regularly. It's not happening. Not good. But yeah. But other than that, I found a new place that I'm going to move into, which I'm excited for. I get to save a bunch of money. The lighting is better, so I'll be able to take better selfies. It's like a little bit out of the super central area that I currently live in. And maybe I'll get really skinny because I'll move away from like the really, like the best delivery options where I currently live, I think. So if I move, then I'll have to cook for myself more often. Just found your channel going through a super hard time. Your content is helping me lots. Oh, yay, I'm so glad. Wishing you the best. This or better, always, you know. So we have that to look forward to. When you're flopping, just know that a slay is around the corner. You might not know how the slay is going to culminate. You just have to have faith that if you get through this, you'll look back and be like, lol. I thought I was going to die, but it wasn't as big of a deal in the end because it all worked out in my favor anyway, you know? That's the energy that we must carry. But yeah, any thoughts, feelings, questions, gossip? Let me know. I just finished Girls, my brain hurts. Wow. I watched that when I was like a late teen, I think, when it first came out, early 20s. What did you think of the show? When did you start DJing? I started DJing, I think, in like 2012. People were still using CDs in the club when I first started DJing. That's how ancient I am. If you could, would you ever go back and redo how you became famous and a content creator? I'm not famous and I'm not a full-time content creator. I don't even think that what I do is like content. There's nothing that I would redo or do differently. It just is what it is. It unfolds as you participate. I've never had to do the whole decentering men stuff because I've always had hobbies, right? Same. And I've never assumed that I should care what men think. So, what have you been listening to lately? Okay, I just found this band or singer called Muck Life or something. Let me play. I don't want to get copyrighted, so the song's called Internet Money, and the artist is called Muck Culture, and it's on my playlist that I just made public called Horse Year Giddy Up. Can you speak on your journey moving to Shanghai, how you're finding it? Love your content. Thank you. Queen, you are the content creator. Bless. I have YouTube videos on moving to Shanghai. Oh my god, hi Faye. I was just saying to my friend the other day, like, I feel like the greatest love story of my life is my relationship with Shanghai. Like, I've broken up with so many men, come back and forth from China. And I mean, it was pretty organic, actually. Now that I look back, I'm actually impressed at the audacity that I had at the time. I was just like, goodbye, I'm leaving. But if you have specific questions, let me know. Missed your yaps. I know I haven't been live for a while. That advice hit home. Going through a flop era, I'm crawling my way out of with rage, period. As we should. It's weird, there are some interesting thematic elements, but there's so much I hate about it. I think it says a lot about codependency and growing out of that as an adolescent 20-something. Interesting generational ideas, interesting things about identity. It was so long and drawn out to get there. Stopped everything I was doing to be here. Thanks for joining. I think, yeah, from memory towards like the end of this series, I was just like, wrap it up, guys. But I think like the first season was pretty funny. And when I was younger, I was like, surely this is not normal behavior. And then I got into my late 20s and early 30s, and I was like, oh, you could just be fucking crazy, guys. It just gets more unhinged as you get older. Might be a weird question. What does taste mean to you, and what does it look like with others? Okay, I thought that was going to go in like a really weird direction. Taste to me is sort of like the intersection between like your experience of yourself, of the world, and then how it's like expressed and manifested in your material reality, but also in your spiritual reality too. Like, I think there's something to be said about your own standards for how you treat yourself and how you treat others and how you allow others to treat you. I don't think it has anything to do with money, although obviously like your material privilege can affect your taste as well. Your context affects your taste. But I've met people that come from privilege that have kind of tacky, cheap taste, or that are stingy and not generous. And I've met people from like that started off in like lower socioeconomic backgrounds, but they have impeccable, amazing taste, meaningful taste. So I don't know if that made any sense. Those are just my thoughts. 4 a.m. in the UK, my sleep schedule is cooked. Oh my god, get some rest. I discovered you in a wake up, a broken engagement, but it's for the better, and your content is so incredible. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but every flop leads to a slay, and I'm sure you'll look back on that time and be grateful for what happened. How do you rate Chinese men versus Aussie men? Are men just men everywhere? Yes. Men are men everywhere. Case by case basis, y'all. Did you always know what career you wanted to have? No, I still don't know what career I want to have. Do you think it's funny or low-key weird when people make a running marathon their entire personality? They're going through it and they need community. People that are obsessed with running marathons, I feel like, firstly, they long and yearn for community. Secondly, there's something deep in their psyche that's not being addressed, so they become addicted to running. The feeling of running gives them, and the runner's high gives them endorphins and temporary relief from whatever they're running from. But I mean, if they're enjoying it, they're not harming anyone, keep at it. Loves it. Reading the word taste in a TikTok comment ends up bad 9.9 times out of 10, right? Today's day and age, marathons are better than watching streamers. Exactly. At least they're getting outside, you know? I'm not doing that. 9:30 p.m. in Cali. Love the content. Thank you. Ultra marathoners are insane, but also kind of inspiring. Yeah, I love that. I encourage hobbies that can get you out of the house, get you out of your comfort zone. You're not harming anyone. What the hell did I just put gray on my face? One guy did the whole Pacific Crest Trail in 52 days alone. Tim Olson. Some people are just built different. I think a boring, well-paid job and cool, fun hobbies are better combo than a cool job. 100%. 100%. Every job ends up just being a job, okay? Like, there's always going to be parts of work that can't be avoided. Of course, for some people and some jobs, if you find the right type of work, it won't feel like work, but you will still have to deal with the aspects that come with work. You know, like yesterday I did a job and the communication leading up to it was annoying. The way that I was treated was not okay. But in the end, what I was doing was like not that high stakes and I was paid well enough. But I still had to deal with the bullshit because most work involves human beings. That's what we're working for, who we're working for. So in the end, wherever there are human beings, there's always going to be BS that you have to deal with. Whenever there's stakes, there's always going to be risk. So it's just about finding the combination that works for you, you know. And just because someone has a cool job doesn't mean that they are always sharing the uncool parts of it. You know, a lot of people only share the cool parts of the job because, like, there's no point in sharing the uncool parts, I guess, for most people. So take everything with a grain of salt. Find something that you enjoy, that gets your needs met. Don't feel like just because it looks like it's working for somebody else that it would work for you, you know? Especially creative industries have 1 billion people willing to work for pennies because of the cool factor, right? I mean, I don't even think people are willing to do that anymore. Basically became a marathon runner to deal with his addiction recovery. Cool dude, check him out. Yeah. Productive use of time and energy. I'm going to Shanghai in May. How's Disney there? Oh my god. I've actually never been to Disneyland in Shanghai. I've only been to the train station. I either don't go because the weather, like either it's too hot or too cold or I'm afraid of crowds. But Disney Shanghai is meant to be one of the biggest, no? So I know people that were going like every single day, like Disney adults. It's crazy. Enjoy your time in Shanghai. I think May is a good time to come. It's not crazy hot yet. But yeah, recently I've been thinking about how the greatest love story or your experience of love doesn't have to be limited to just romance. I mean, I've always sort of said that, but I was just thinking about it more recently because I was getting asked questions or people were talking about, like, underneath a lot of people's feminist analysis, discourse or like heterosexual pessimism, etc., I feel like it's still tinged with this idea that like, oh, like the concept of a great love or like falling in love is like not a thing anymore. But I don't think it was ever a thing. I don't think that people en masse were falling in love and getting married and living happily ever after. I don't think that's ever been the case in history. I think that's just how they like to write history, or they want you to believe that history is like, but that was never how humans functioned en masse. It's just like a fantasy. And I think when you diversify your sources of validation, you diversify your experience of love, how you define love, how you practice love, your life is so much fuller, whether you're in a relationship or not, you know? I'm just wondering why people think like this idea of a happily ever after partner is something that's being taken away from them when it was barely something people could even achieve to begin with. In my opinion and observation, I watched Gone Girl on Your Record, Another Girl's Record. I have a zillion thoughts about that one too. Romantic love is totally imprisoning. Programming shtick, period. Let me know your thoughts on Gone Girl. Best movie ever. Also a great book. I recommend reading the book too. I don't usually read like fiction, but I really enjoyed Gone Girl. Also, by the way, I'm like live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time, so I'm going in between comments. It was never a thing. Love, attachment is real, but the way romantic love is packaged isn't real. Exactly. Exactly. I'm addicted to contemporary dance classes, better than being addicted to rage. Exactly. Like I had the worst day yesterday. Then I was at the pole dance studio. We had a 2-hour class, and then some of us stayed back for like another hour. Feeling great. Thank God. Thank God for dance. Thank God. Honestly, I believe it's rare for people to actually ever find true love. But like, what even is true love? You know? Everyone's idea of what it is different. One person might be like, oh my God, this is the love of my life. And another person would be like, that looks ghetto. I would never, you know? Check out Osho's book, Love, Freedom, and Aloneness, The Koan of Relationships. It's like, I haven't read Osho in ages, actually. But I used to read it when I was a teenager. I don't agree with everything he says in there. It has a lot of solid points that really move me. My go-to book on love is The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. I feel like he has a really great breakdown of not only love, but life in general. Lots of great points made. I also need to read Eric Fromm's book on love, which I have not. But The Road Less Traveled and All About Love by Bell Hooks, obviously. Why is it bright and sunny on my phone when it's dark and cold here? No. Thoughts on e-relationships, like on Discord. In what sense? You've got a Discord boyfriend? It depends what you want. If you want to be in an e-relationship and you're enjoying it, great. If you want to be in a real relationship, but you are in an e-relationship, maybe reassess. Everybody is different. Romantic love is the most shallow and superficial type of love anyway. Exactly. I think M. Scott Peck does a good job of distinguishing between falling in love and the practice of love. One feels involuntary and the other is more intentional. Hello, angels, baddies, and bitches. How are we? You shouldn't fall in love anyway. You should grow in love. Exactly. I think it's fine. Like, to me, all of these experiences are valid. You know, there's no reason why you shouldn't experience falling in love, and you shouldn't learn how to practice love, and you couldn't be in an e-relationship for a bit and then be in an offline relationship. Like, I think you can have all these experiences. It's just when your expectations of the experience and your reality are misaligned, that's when you need to reassess. You know, one thing is not better or worse than the other. It's just, is it having the outcomes that you desire? You know? The thing for Gone Girl that pissed me off was that this chick wasted her entire life for revenge, basically, instead of just living well, which is the best revenge. Yeah, but that would not make an interesting movie, would it? Yes, we play games together. So has he asked you to be his e-boyfriend, his e-girlfriend, or are you just the girl that he plays games with online? If you're enjoying it, keep at it. If not, do something different. It's because falling in love leads to making decisions on chemical reactions. Yes, 100%. The practice of love is super interesting. It's so different each time. Yeah, not even a Discord boyfriend, a Fortnite boyfriend. Oh. Do you believe in the invisible string theory, or it's just like probably a rare human experience? What is the invisible string theory? Like soulmate vibes? Or like you have an invisible string between you and a person that you're destined to meet? Debating if romantic love is real. Oh wait, that's an AI summary, excuse me. I think people retroactively romanticize experiences. I really liked its subtle commentary on media and programming and social norms. I loved all the commentary on identity choices and blind embodiments of traditional roles and tropes. Yes. I think also how feminine rage and its expression can be so much more calculated than masculine rage, which just seems like blunt and destructive a lot of the time. There are so many people in the world you could be happy with, not just one. I do believe in fate and destiny to a degree, but I don't think that just because something is fated means that it has to last forever. You know, it's just like an experience that you're here to have, a relationship that you're here to experience, but that doesn't mean that you need to stay together or that you need to try to make the experience continue for longer than it needs to if it's no longer mutually beneficial, or if the thing that you sort of needed to learn or experience has run its course. You know, I think a lot of people are forcing it when they don't need to. Like either you're both on the same page and all willing to get on the same page, or you're not, and that's okay. You don't have to take it personally. We're dating, but in the summer we're going to Oshega together. Okay? So what's the issue? You enjoy? If a dude did that in a movie, no one would call it revolutionary or something. No one would think twice. It's a woman, so somehow it pisses everyone off, especially the end. Right. I don't know anyone that's pissed off by Gone Girl. But I guess that just says a lot about my social circle and the corner of the internet that I'm on. But, I mean, men aren't really questioned in general, so that's why I support women's rights and wrongs, because progress and liberation involves being held to equal standards. Just as much as it means being afforded equal or equitable opportunity. Either men raise the standard that they're held to, or you start lowering the standard that women are held to. Like, meet me up here or I'll meet you in hell, because it can't be that there are two different standards and women are being policed to a standard that men can't even uphold. Okay, miss me with that. I agree, meeting the person is fate, but how deep the connection goes is free will. Yeah. Thoughts on attachment style? I haven't read the book, so I don't really have any thoughts pertaining to attachment style in and of itself. I think the way that people talk about attachment style is getting like OD, like not everything needs a diagnosis. Like you're a person and you're not broken just because you have an avoidant or a slightly anxious attachment style. Like I think a lot of the times people are starting from like an idea of what a perfect person is, and then comparing themselves to that rather than I am a person and how can I grow and evolve from this. You know, there is no such thing as a perfect life, as a perfect experience, as perfect psychology, as perfect anything. But I find it like weird and also kind of unhelpful and sort of unhealthy as well, that it's like, oh, this is how it should be, and then let's compare how things are to what should be, when there is no example of how what it should be is. That's not yet been realized. I mean, you can work towards something better than what is now, but I think people get way too attached to the idea of what it should be, which then leads to lack of real participation in what things are, you know? And like the illusion of, oh, it should be this, that doesn't make what is now that, just because you can point out that difference, you know? And I find this also in like progressive circles. It's like, or even when people talk about feminism, it's like, she should do this, she should do that. And it's like, what have you done? You're not more of that just because you pointed out that she's not, you know? That pisses me off. Tony Soprano, no one bats an eye. Yeah, a lot of men are pissed about the ending. Well, as they should be, okay? Imagine a woman capable of holding a man accountable for the consequences of his own actions and hers. Do you think women and men can be truly platonic friends? Yeah, I think they can. But I think that you need to be, the woman especially, needs to be emotionally regulated, needs to know how to emotionally regulate. You can't, and you also can't have the same expectations for men in friendships that you do for women. Like, it's two different things. And, or maybe it shouldn't be like that, but as it turns out, men and women are conditioned very differently, and they see friendship very differently. They see relationships very differently. So I think there's that. I think also it doesn't matter if you're friends now and then something happens down the line where it's like either you're not friends anymore or your relationship becomes more than friends or whatever. Like, why even worry about that? Cross that bridge when you get there. If you enjoy each other's company and friendship now, enjoy it. One day it might not be there. We're all on borrowed time, you know? Set healthy boundaries where necessary. And then, you know, I don't think that, oh, like every guy I've been friends with got feelings for me, so men and women can't be friends. Maybe they just weren't the right person for you. Maybe your relationship with them was just supposed to be that, you know, or like, oh, I haven't been able to be friends with a man for blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you lose a lot of female friends too. I just think we're limiting our like definition and experience of friendship by overly gendering it, you know? For me, it was basically like, don't throw your life away for the man. At the end, like, what man could ever be worth all that? And love yourself enough to walk away from someone dusty. Yes, especially she, similar to Fiona, had more privilege than him. She was better off than he was, and her standard of living decreased being with him, okay? You don't have to do that for love as a woman. I'm not saying you have to marry for money, but I'm also saying you should not jeopardize your position for love. And people think that's like problem. Men rarely jeopardize their financial position when they get into relationships with women. Maybe they spend money on the woman, but in the end, they end up making more money because of the woman in their life. The woman becomes a free slave for them, okay? Free therapist, free housekeeper, free. Or even just being around the woman puts the man in a better position to make more money. So men are not risking their financial position to be with women. There is absolutely no reason why a woman should do that for a man. Sue me. I don't think men really view women as whole people, so can they attach? My guy friend who I just see as friends has been going to movies with me and told people if it was more. But do you drive? I have a driver's license, but I don't drive in China. I absolutely resent him for being part of an agenda and the friendship is ruined. I'm sorry you had to go through that. He's not the right friend or the one for you. In the UK, an influencer kissed another guy and the whole country raged. As men do every 3 days, of course. I don't think you should resent him, but distance yourself. Most relationships are awful anyway. Yeah, I think okay, I saw this tweet that was like, men can't be friends with women without catching feelings. Men can be in relationships with women and feel nothing for them the whole time. And obviously I understand when you've been wronged and your expectations have not matched reality, it's disappointing and you are rightfully allowed to be upset about it. But I think men are just not equipped to handle their own emotions, let alone the intricacies of relationships with women who also have emotions. They can barely deal with their own shit. So I just feel sorry for them. Even though they piss me off, I'm just I feel bad for you. This, my fucking landlord, this old man, berating me for 40 minutes because I exercised my contractual legal right to no longer continue to live here. I'm you're an old man, okay? You're telling me, oh, you've been in this industry, you've been a landlord for 20 years, yada, 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 yada. Why are you acting like this is the first property you've ever rented? Why are you acting like you've never read a contract before? You're old. You should know better. But he doesn't. He can't even emotionally regulate. He can't even deal with the, greed that he has to extort money from me and the fear that he might make slightly less money because I leave. Why is that my problem? This is not my house. So I'm annoyed, justifiably so, because I deserve better. Okay, I've paid on time. I've looked after the apartment very well. And for him to yell at me for 40 minutes and threaten me because I've exercised a contractual right, a legal right, is fucking pathetic. Kept giving signs, asking who I was going out with and blowing my phone up. It's suffocating. Distance yourself, girl. People love to pathologize everything, yes. We're living in such a hateful era and time period, it's so hard to remember. Hi, Queen Amber. How's your week so far? Hi, Mary. It's been good. Up and down, but we're getting there. How are you? Women who say they only get along with men are the most delusional type of pygmy. They're not your friends, right? The women who defriend Shrek would never be with a man like that, so why should Fiona? Trying to explain this debate to my sister when she didn't have TikTok. We have to have more distance with male friends. You're a little nicer and they think you're in love with them. Yeah, where are all the movies telling men to get with ugly women? Exactly. My friend group in high school was very mixed. Mixed gender until we left and most of them went red pill. Okay. Also, what do we think about hooking up in cars? What? I remember a discourse on Twitter about that. Such a valid question. Right. If you're enjoying it, have fun and be safe. I think men can't develop deep connections the way women can. They're kind of, cauterized. They're kind of, castrated. What's the word? Getting ready for Betty. Oh my God, sweet dreams, angels. Post this live. Is it better to repost the live as a video or to post it, keep it in the live section? I'm not sure. I enjoy going on live, so I'm going to try to do it more often. Been trying to make more friends in general with guys. It's difficult. I feel like if I reach out, it'll be taken as I like them or they're holding back. I don't know. I personally don't really reach out to guys that I'm friends with unless it's for a work-related thing. I guess because I work in the creative industry, there's a lot of overlap between social and work and networking. And it's like, are they an acquaintance or are they a friend? Is this a work thing or are we actually friends? If we didn't work in the same industry, would we give a fuck about each other? You know, all valid questions, but not questions that you actually need to have answers to, in my opinion. And I think that I live my life, I focus on my relationships with the girls and the gays, and then the men are just there. The straight men, love them, but I'm not like going out of my way to initiate conversation with them. They can come to me if they have something to say. Like, because I don't really need their input on anything most of the time, unless it's work related. And then it becomes a work conversation, not a friendship conversation. You know what I mean? I have a question. I think if you're trying to make more friends, focus on girls and gays first, and then straight men later. Okay, you can't, these are not interchangeable things. There may be exceptions, but even then, a man is a man, and even a gay man will tell you that, okay? I know the whole game of dating. When I'm actually seeing someone, I actually don't know how to act. Why? Because you like them. I don't know, it's normal to be like excited or confused or anxious about people that you like. I wouldn't think about it. I mean, I wouldn't think about it too much. I think like that's why journaling practices are so important. Then you can write out all your crazy to yourself, and then you can deal with this person in your ideal regulated self, not in the chaotic, unmanaged self, you know? I can't even think of a single one. 99% of women in Hollywood are thin and decent looking. Conditioned to suppress their emotions, yes. Cauterized is when an exposed wound is burnt, so it can't get infected, but it loses feeling. Oh my God. What a visual. And yeah, I mean, that is basically a lot of men and their experience. Like, when you understand that trauma and like patterns of behavior are usually formed before you're even like 7 years old, like you're so young, you're a child most of the time. So you're not actually dealing with a man, you're dealing with the wounded inner child of that man most of the time, you know? And when you think of it that way, you just don't take it as personally, because you just end up feeling sorry for them. You're just like, society does not care about you. And that is then projected onto me, because you are then conditioned to exploit women to supplement the internal turmoil that you feel. I'm not going to allow you to do that, but I understand where you're coming from. I don't come from the same place. I don't want to go there with you, but you know. Thoughts on being sober? Go for it. I mean, I don't really drink and I don't really do drugs. I'm not like sober, but I definitely limit drinking as much as I can. I was excited to get a drink last night with my friends after a rough day, but both of them were drinking kombucha at the bar because one of them had gotten a facial treatment and the other had just gotten her eyes done. So we were drinking kombucha instead of wine. I was like, okay, well. That's why I don't like clubbing. Character limit, ain't allow. It's cool to learn how to socialize without being drunk. It's a personal choice. Yeah. I know Mary Jane is seen as really bad in China. Have you any thoughts on quitting? I don't smoke. I don't like that. It doesn't do anything when I'm smoked. And when I eat it, I just get dizzy and want to go to bed. What's your opinion on how Asian people emotionally regulate, communicate, friends, families, elders? Well, I think it's very varied. I think generally because Chinese culture is influenced by like Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism, the way that people talk about how they feel, I think, is a little bit more detached and healthy in general culturally, but then you obviously still meet really dysregulated and unhinged individuals, you know? Like, I think that my observation is that when people talk about their experience in China or themselves, they connect a lot more things to their emotions or how they feel or their mood. Like when you're sick, they're like, how is your emotional state, you know, that is like factored in to your general well-being, your understanding of your well-being. But I feel like in the West, it's not so much. It's just like, oh, you have a headache, take a Panadol. You like have a stomach ache, go to the doctor. But like here, at least in my experience, they'll talk about like, are you holding on to anger? Are you anxious? Are you sleeping enough? Like, are you under a lot of stress? Like, they talk about that more. But then I've also met people that completely disregard their emotions as part of their well-being and their understanding of well-being. So yeah. Have you ever been to London? I have, but I haven't been since like 2019, I think. What's your approach to taking action and doing things, especially when you're not in the mood? I procrastinate so much. I tell myself that like doing the thing is going to be better for me long term than not doing the thing. And of course, there are times where I don't do the thing and I just deal with it. But when you're trying to build like discipline and consistency, I think starting really small and then becoming consistent with one thing, so then you can stack another habit on top of it, right? And learn to basically like gaslight yourself into being a better version of you, okay? So for example, this doesn't work for everyone, but it's what works for me. The reason why I don't really drink and I don't smoke, even though if smoking wasn't bad for you, I'd probably be a chain smoker, but I don't smoke and I don't do drugs. It's illegal here anyway. And, you know, I try to look after my body and eat a balanced diet, which doesn't mean I don't eat any junk food. Like I'm literally waiting for my friend to come over so we can go and buy chocolate chip cookies. But the reason why I do all those things is because I tell myself, if you invest in yourself now, you will save so much money in the long term. I don't want to go to hospital. I don't want to have to get a bunch of like beauty procedures and spend any more money than I currently do on maintaining my general appearance and well-being. I don't want to have to deal with my clothes smelling like cigarettes. I don't want to have to I don't want to have an addiction that makes me like look for the closest like exit or like outdoor space for me to have a cigarette. Like I'm being controlled by this thing, you know? So I gaslight myself and I'm like, if you go to dance class regularly, even when you don't feel like it, it might feel shitty before and during, but after you'll feel so much better. And once you've done that enough times, you start to build that muscle. And I tell myself like, well, if I don't have to go to the hospital because I'm never going to get sick, because I'm investing in my health now, what can I spend the money that I save on? Girl math. So things like that. TCM doctors here tell me about my unexpressed anger. The UK would never. Right, exactly. That's why I don't really drink, because alcoholism is the norm in the UK. I don't want that. Yeah. Alcoholism in Australia is insane. In your 30s, do you still have crushes? Sure. But I think the concept of a man is more enjoyable than the reality. So that's why crushes are an important part of the human experience. All disease has emotional basis or proliferation. 100%. But people don't want to believe that. Yeah, I think learning to do the thing that requires effort that will give you a long-term benefit, rather than short-term pleasure, long-term pain. And the pain is almost always financial pain. And I enjoy money and I enjoy nice things, so I enjoy being hot and having fun. Such a norm in South Africa. My friends can hardly hang without drinking. Right. Is not having children more or less controversial in China compared to the West? I think it depends. I mean, the government obviously wants people to have babies, but a lot of the women and people in general that I meet from varying class backgrounds, in Shanghai at least, even not in Shanghai, are more accepting of like women choosing to live their best life instead of having babies and settling down. Like, I always tell people that I would rather make money than I'd rather focus on making money than being in a relationship, because what's the point of being in a relationship if I don't have money? And because Chinese people are materialistic, they're like, okay, fine. Like, I told my grandma that once. She used to always say, like, when are you going to bring someone back to Australia for me to meet? And I'm like, but if I'm dating, then I have less time to make money. So what's more important to you, me bringing back a man or me being able to afford the lifestyle that I deserve? And she was like, all right. I was like, what if I date someone and then I can't do my job properly? And she was like, don't do that. So yeah, I'm like, are you going to make sure that I have the time and energy required to make the money that I want to make? If I am dating someone, if you can do that, then I'll date whoever you want me to date. But I haven't met anybody that can do that. So the UK is literally normalized for people to be mentally dependent on alcohol. Yeah, Australia as well. Girl, what does it take for a man to take you on a date? It depends. First of all, he has to be a man. I don't know if I want kids. If I could get pregnant at 45 plus, I might, but not at 30. Yeah. I think if I don't have a kid by my late 30s, I might start chain smoking. I think it's like, even though I have no intention of getting pregnant anytime soon, I try to live my life in a way that is considerate of my reproductive system, because I think that is really like an integral part of like any human being, their reproductive system. If you can look after your reproductive health, you're looking after your health in general. You know, the first thing to go downhill when people, men and women, are like under stress is their reproductive system. Men don't have healthy sperm, prostate issues, what's it called? Premature ejaculation or whatever. Women dealing with period cramps, endometriosis, all of these things. I think that even if you don't plan on having children, orienting your well-being, being mindful of your reproductive system, is like kind of like a hack or something. Men, stop getting stiff. If you know, you know. Hi, babes. I don't want to give up living for myself until I've had a while to do myself. 32 is young. 100%. First in our bloodline to be able to do what we want when we want. I just started pole dancing. Oh my God, slay. Hope you're enjoying. Hi, babes. What's the tea? Yeah, I don't know. Then, okay, so like recently I've been looking at apartments, right? And then my agent, one of the agents, is a similar age to me. So she asked me like, if I have a partner or am I looking for my own place. And there was like one day where we went to see a few apartments, and then we were just like having a kiki after. And yeah, we realized we're the same age, and she has been in Shanghai for maybe like 5 or so years, around the same amount of time as me. She's from like a different part of China. And then she's like, she's like, do you want to get married? I was like, I don't know. I don't really care. And then she's like, yeah, me neither. But I do really want to have kids. I'm like, well, there's lots of ways to have children without having to be married if you really want to do that. And then she's like, yeah, when I was younger, I felt like I had to always make relationships work. Like when I was dating men, and I always thought that there was something wrong with me, is what she was saying. And then she was like, yeah, and then I just realized like, I don't have to change myself for a man. What the hell? And I'm like, yeah, if anything, they need to figure out what's wrong with them to make this work. And then she also said that like her observation is that it's hard for everyone to find partners in Shanghai. A lot of people here are very materially focused. Like they want to know how much money you have, how much money you make. And then what else did she say? I think she said her parents do give her a little bit of pressure, but she doesn't care. And then she was like, how do you feel about people saying like, you know, the birth rate is too low and there's not going to be enough people in the future? And I was like, that's not my problem. That's not my responsibility. If you can't create a society where women having children is desirable, where it's made convenient, or where you feel like it's a viable option for what you're going to do, then I'm not going to prioritize that, period. Like, if you created a society where mothers are treated terribly by society, mothers were respected for the literal labor that they do, then sure, I'd consider it. Where men were willing to take responsibility for their children as much as women are expected to, sure. Where being a mother didn't mean like setting your career back, potentially setting your career back, great. I don't see that. Maybe in parts of Europe. Amber has such a firm crush on you. I'm from Perth too. I swear these small towns create the most interesting personalities. Real. Perth represent. Really wild to be the women we are today in our respective lineages. Like, I have my great grandma's engagement ring that I wear every day on my right hand. I don't take my freedom lightly. Period. I think of her and all the women in my family and how we aren't beholden to any relationship with a man for any aspect of life. It's deep. It makes me want to live and love super hardcore. Exactly. That's how I feel too. Literally, like, my mom didn't live by herself until she was like in her 50s. First time she lived alone. I lived alone for the first time when I was 28. Like, alone, with no housemate. Hope you're doing well, Queen. Random, but what's been your favorite song lately? I mentioned this earlier. My favorite song is Internet Money by Muck Culture. They only have 1,300 monthly listeners, okay? I'm an early adapter. Not first, because the world used to be way less patriarchal before farming. For me, men are only needed within the first 2 years of a child's life. After that, I could do it alone. It's rough worldwide. But if people want women to have kids, they should make it easier, literally. Maybe create an environment where people want to have children, perhaps. Yes. Men are not ever going to do more, so women need to do less, literally. Are you live on IG or YouTube too? I'm live on YouTube as well. I'm planning to move out of home in April 2028. I'm so excited. Oh my God, slay! I'm so excited for you. I'm intrigued what qualities you would like in a man if you were to find someone that's compatible with you. I don't know. I don't really care, guys. Like, to be honest, I have never cared about dating since I was young. It's just not been a priority for me. So, I don't know. Like, the reason why I talk about decentering men is not because I think that you need to be like me, but because I think incorporating a little bit of those principles can help you in all aspects of your life. You know, if you want to date, if you want to prioritize that, that's your right, you know, because I think everyone's here on a different journey. Some people it's through romance and other people it's through other things. So can you give tips on self-love and dealing with loneliness? Investigate your values and grow your value garden. Yeah. Tips on self-love. Learn to be your own best friend. You know, I need a friend for right now, and you can do that for yourself, whether that's like talking to yourself, doing something intentional for yourself, cook yourself a meal, take yourself out on a date, on a walk, buy something cute that you want. You know, don't wait for other people to treat you the way that you want to be treated, you feel that you need from others. You can actually do that for yourself, and you can do that in very small ways that accumulate over time. And then learn to listen to your own opinion. You know, figure out what your standard for yourself and your life is, and practice that in your daily life. You know, okay, you want to be healthy, or you want to live a balanced lifestyle, you want to get into, you know, fitness, then you have to make that promise to yourself and then follow through. Who's going to hold you accountable but you? You know, the results of your actions are what is going to hold you accountable, not some random person. Nobody cares. Enough, actually. I gotta walk my doggy, BRB. Stay safe on your walkie. Enjoy. Amber wants submissive and breedable. Literally, I don't care. Can't even imagine myself being married or being with a man. Romantic relationships seem suffocating. Exactly. I went to a girls' school, so I look at men the same way dogs look at dogs. They meet for the first time. Same. I think that also had a really big impact on my worldview as well, growing up in Barbie land. But everyone's different, you know, like some women go to an all-girls school and they yearn for the presence of men. But for me, I almost resent it. So I've curated an adult life that is not dissimilar to the one I had when I was younger. So I never bought anything people say about women because I grew up surrounded by women. Exactly. And I think I was also conditioned to, like, our schooling environment was pretty competitive as well. So the teachers would be like, the next Prime Minister of Australia could be sitting in this room. You are all going to go out into the world. You're going to change the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, I knew girls that were rowing, that were actresses, that were musicians, that were artists, that were writers. Like, you were given the opportunity to explore any of your interests. And I think that was like such a huge privilege to have when I was younger. And when you're younger, you don't really understand the importance of education, especially because I only went to one school. So I don't really have anything to compare it to. But now that I'm an adult, every day I'm like, education is so important. Education is so important. Especially the competitiveness with sport. It was such an event. Yeah, like I'm not competitive at all in terms of sport. I hate competitive sports. I failed every PE class except for gymnastics. But yeah, there were girls that were like raging on the track, in the field, in the swimming pool. Like, it's crazy. It really confused me seeing my brother being so pro-men and anti-women, right? Like, women are soft and submissive. Okay, Jan. Yeah, some of the craziest bitches that I've ever met are women, okay? Men could never. They're just like, I mean, it's just, at the end of the day, there's more similarities between genders than within genders. You know, we have more in common as human beings between men and women. And I think when you remember that, like, the gender part is just like, sure, like, women can be more empathetic than men, but I've met plenty of women that have no sense of empathy or self-accountability, and men that have completely exceeded the baseline expectations of men and their ability to. So I think when you decenter everything and focus on being hot and having fun as you define it, living an embodied life, you don't think about like, oh, is this man, is this girl? You're just like, okay, are we vibing together? Are we being hot and having fun together or not? It's that simple. Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, it don't matter to me. How many countries have you been to? I don't know. Do I need to count? Advice for feeling behind in life. Been trying to chill out and let myself take my time lately. I think that, again, it's like, it's normal to have times where you're like, am I doing enough? And then you could also just like practice gratitude for the things that you have done, for the things that you've learned, for the stage that you're at now, and how you choose to navigate it, you know? And I think when it's like you want to be an active participant in your life. So like, do things that bring you joy. And then it's not really about like what stage you're at, just whether you are content or not. You know what I mean? Like, when I was younger, I thought once I achieve this, once I've done this, then everything's going to be great. Then everything will make sense. And then as you get older, you're like, nothing fucking ever makes sense. Okay? We have no idea what tomorrow will bring. Let me just enjoy today and then the rest will just take care of itself. You know, I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to have an idea of the direction I could go, what I want to do, but I can't guarantee, you know, you never know. There's so much that you can't control. And like the linear timeline is an illusion. It's something that you piece together retrospectively most of the time. Even the most successful people have side quests, have, you know, failures. If anything, it's like, you know, successful people are the people that are able to overcome failure, not the people who are defined by it, you know. Oh my God, my phone's gonna die. Why is it doing this? Oh my God, I'm stressing. Okay, period. Trust. How do I move this? Beep, 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 beep. I still feel audacious living this way, focusing on myself. It's new to me. Yeah. I have moments of that too, you know. But in the end, you're not hurting anyone. Living your best life means that you can live better and show up better for others as well. Just because somebody would prefer that you change it to benefit them doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong, okay? And that's how people try to manipulate you. Like, I didn't like the way that you didn't make yourself available to me unquestioned. That made me really uncomfortable. It's like, and what have you done for me? Stop worrying about timelines. You have more time to think. Yeah, then you can like just enjoy. Then you can think clearly, you know, because the anxiety of, oh, what timeline should I be on? That doesn't put you any more on the timeline. You know, there is a diminishing returns to anxiety, you know. Oh my God. I want to travel more, going to Spain and the Netherlands this year. Fun. Hot take, Lana Del Rey. Okay, I'm not reading that out. I don't want to. Enjoying being hot and having fun. Yes. What kind of supplements do you recommend? I don't really take supplements, to be honest. I forget. I can't be bothered. Honey. Yeah, having raw local honey is good for you. I guess that's a supplement that I take. I have put honey in my tea every morning. I think focusing on trying to eat a balanced, well-rounded diet is more important than supplements. Def want to have more fun for sure. Started dance. I tried indoor climbing, swimming regularly. Yay! Love that. What's your fave thing you're doing these days? What's lighting up your life? I think pole dance has taken the front seat again. There was a period where it was not as much of a priority, or I felt like, what am I doing? But recently I feel good going to class, feel good after going to class. I think the pressure of feeling like I need to rush burns me out more than actually doing things 100%. And I've totally been there. You know, you're just like, this needs to happen. When is this going to happen? And it's like, cool. That doesn't actually make the thing happen any faster. So what can I do right now to either enjoy the moment or work towards the thing that I'm stressed about? There is war happening in my country. It's a bliss to hear from you. Oh my gosh, I'm really sorry that you have to go through that. Justice for your country, I hope. Watching this on the train to Nanjing. Oh my God, Slay, my friend. One of my besties from Nanjing. Have you always been a DJ? Currently working in a creative industry, film, trying to expand into new areas, more sustainable roles that are still creative. What do you mean always been a DJ? I've been a DJ for a long time. I've think that DJing is a good hobby to have. I don't think that it's a career that everyone need to pursue. I mean, I don't even consider myself a career DJ because I do other things. More of a curator, if anything, than a DJ. But I think I know a lot of people that work in the creative industry and DJ as a hobby because I think it's a fun way. It's a very low stakes way to feel creative. Mixing songs together. And it's very easy. Like, low barrier to entry now. Queen of being hot and having fun. Yay! Would you recommend Beijing or Shanghai for a holiday? I recommend both, because both of the cities are very different. If you can start in Beijing and then take the train, the high-speed rail to Shanghai, it's like 4-5 hours. Beijing is more like OG China. It's more historical. Shanghai is more like contemporary, international vibes. So I think if you can do both, if you're coming to China anyway, you may as well try to do both. If you had to do one, I think for a more cultural experience, Beijing. For a more kind of like laid back shopping and eating experience, then Shanghai. But I don't even really eat Chinese food that much when I'm in Shanghai, except dumplings. How do you know what you like? I feel disconnected from myself. You just keep exploring things, try different things, look at different things, listen to different things, curate, make yourself playlists, reflect on the things that you consume. Did I like this video? Did I not like that video? Like, your life is like an experiment. Your life is like a research project. So don't feel like you have to know everything automatically or decide everything just in your own brain. You can like write things down and reflect on your experience. I had a house, husband, kid, and career by 32. Then I spiraled because I accomplished everything I had been programmed to. There's more to life than the linear model capitalism tries to push. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm excited for your journey to self-discovery, being hot and having fun. You've ticked all the boxes that you needed to tick, and you realize that there's more to life than just that, which is great. A lot of people don't even get to experience life because they spend the whole time thinking they have to tick boxes that maybe is not for them to tick. There's actually lots of boxes available, and just because you're being told that these are the ones that you should tick doesn't mean that you have to. Like, yeah, I've had really profound experiences in friendships, in travel, in work, even with strangers, and in my romantic relationships too. I don't think one is more profound than the other. If anything, the romantic relationships, even though they've been great, they don't supersede any other experience in my life. They're not in a category that takes priority or that I would consider like on a hierarchy either. I want to start DJing for sure. I don't know if I like being in the club more than once a month. You don't have to DJ in a club. You can DJ at a bar. You can DJ at the gym. You can DJ in a store. You can DJ in a restaurant. There are many applications for DJing that exist outside of just the club. Thank you. I've been divorced for about 3 years now. Have done things I've never dreamed of. Oh my God, love that for you. Love your vids. I think we all need little reminders to be hot and have fun. 100%. Even me. I almost committed elderly abuse yesterday. This old man pissed me off so bad. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave this venue. Never going to see this old man again. I'm going to go to pole dance and have fun. And then I'm going to go out with my friends. And what's he going to be doing? Being a bitter old man. Just need pure advice. Is it worth having a birthday party if my closest friends can't attend due to work and only school friends can attend? It just depends how much you like your school friends. Do you want to hang out with them or not? Why can't you just have your birthday party on a different date when your friends are actually here? Or you can have lots of little mini birthday parties, one with your friends, that you want to see, you can do a dinner with them, and then a dinner or activity with your school friends. I think like mixing social groups, I don't like that. I used to like romanticize it. And then I was like, we don't need to do that. If you guys are meant to meet, I'll set it up, but I don't need to put you all in the same room. My social battery is very weak. Yeah, like you can just DJ for fun. You don't have to like do it as a job. How did you make most of your friends in Shanghai? Hella randomly. This is why I say, like, if you are living your best life, like doing things that you enjoy, you're not going to think about how am I going to achieve this thing. The thing will almost just achieve itself, you know? You can't predict, like the friends that I have now, I couldn't reverse engineer that and be like, okay, if I want to make a new friend, I need to do this and this and this and follow these steps. It's just like so random how we met, you know? Like some friends I met through another person. So I know this person and then they introduced me to this other person, and now I'm friends with that person and not the original person that introduced us. You know, I'm closer with the other person. And that happens a lot with me as well. When I introduce other people, they become really close friends and I'm not that close with them. But I love that. I love being able to introduce people to their people as well, right? And then sometimes it'll just be we're out one day at an event, you know? So maybe we have like mutual friends and we're introduced to each other, or maybe we're like online mutuals or something. So random. So random. Completely different vibes. That's funny. Yeah. I think 1 + 1 = 3, you know? It's not like do this, follow these 3 steps and you'll make a new friend. It's just like live your best life, do things you enjoy, and you just never know what will happen, you know? Like I think even if you're feeling lonely, doing things like dance class or going to some kind of group activity on a regular basis just puts you around people and gets you being social. I have periods where I'm like socially isolating, but I still go to pole on a regular basis, and I have like friends at pole, and I'm like kicking with the girls at pole. We don't really spend much time outside of the studio together. Sometimes we go out to eat after class or whatever. But it's fun to have a relationship that's built around our shared passion for dancing. And then we gossip and kiki. And then, yeah, you just never know. Like, the people I've known for a while, so I wonder how I'd make friends. The people I know I've known for a while, so I wonder how I'd make friends in a new city. It can take time to settle in. I think if you're moving to a new place, give yourself like a minimum 6 months to a year to find your footing. There's definitely the illusion of like, okay, I moved, I have an apartment, I have a job, I have a routine, so I have to feel settled. I think getting your body and your emotions accustomed to a new environment takes more time than you think, at least for me. I'm not, even though I'm a Sagittarius, I think it took me at least a year to 2 years to feel settled. But also because I do freelance work, so it's like, what am I doing? I feel like I know what hard slopes feel like. I still moved, even at a slower pace, but the last few years I've hit a full stop. I'm constantly disappointed in myself. I feel too weak to move. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Try to find like small activities that you can do on a regular basis that make you happy. You don't have to do like a life-altering change. You don't have to go from 0 to 100. Going from 0 to 1 when you've been feeling 0 for a long time, that's already a huge achievement, you know? Love listening to you on Spotify while doing work. Currently rewatching some of your videos. Generally helps. Thank you. You're welcome. I gotta go. Thank you for the live. Your vibes are so grounding. Have a great day. Have a great day, babe. I'm gonna head off soon as well. I feel like I should have a big dream, but I don't. How do I come to terms with that? Focus on being hot and having fun. Live in the moment. I used to think that I needed to be like, I'm gonna do this whole thing, and why haven't I done the whole thing yet? And then I realized I just want to have fun. I just want to be hot and have fun and enjoy my experience, contribute as positively as I can. And the rest will just take care of itself. Whatever, I'll just reincarnate as a cockroach or something. Your big dream can be to live a happy life. Exactly. I think that's one of the most radical things that a woman can do, that anyone can do, to choose to live a life of intention, to choose to live in a way that is like generative for you, generative in the relationships and the experiences that you have. Slay. Most people can't say that. I know you might not like this question, how to move on from an ex. It's been months, I still can't. Have you listened to my Training for a Breakup podcast episode? It's okay if it takes months, you know, and it's normal to still think about people that were a big part of your life. So I feel like when someone or something major shifts, it takes time for you to grieve the space and then to also grow back into that space, you know, fill that space with, allow yourself to expand, to occupy that space so you become an even bigger, more expansive version of yourself. Don't just think you have to replace that space with another person. What can you do with that time and energy that will actually help you to grow? You know, like I started pole dance after one of my worst breakups, and prior to that I never thought about being able to consistently do any hobby or activity. But I did it consistently. I developed my love for dance and pole dance, and now it's such a natural part of who I am that in any future experience or relationship, that's part of my identity now in a way that it wasn't when I was in that relationship. And I think that like you kind of underestimate how much you can grow and evolve just within yourself. There's this idea that you have a fixed amount of energy or a fixed capacity, but you can actually expand your capacity, and you are given the blessing of a breakup for you to start to be more intentional about that space and for you to be intentional about how you grow from that experience rather than just like replace and refill, you know? Make yourself busy with activities, hobbies, etc. Strict program in here, period. Back as my alter ego. Welcome, Victoria. I'm gonna be heading off soon. I'm sad that you missed the last discussion session, but hopefully you can make the next one. But yeah, stay, like, don't exhaust yourself being busy, but try to spend your time intentionally. Journal to yourself, talk to yourself about your experience and like how your relationship with the relationship changes over time, with your memory of the person changes over time as well. So I think there's this idea that because you break up with someone, you have to forget about them and never think about them again. But it's so normal to think about people that you were involved with and that played a big part in your life. But that doesn't have to mean that you have to be back together. I think all kinds of crazy shit and I don't act on it. For example, the elderly abuse that I considered yesterday after a man was rude to me. I thought about it, but I didn't do it. So I can think about my ex without thinking that I have to call him. Or without thinking that we should be together. You know, it is what it was. That's enough. You're such a light. Thanks again, Amber. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your support. Stay hot and having fun. Keep slaying. This or better always. Gonna do a face mask and finish getting ready for bed while listening to this live stream. I'm gonna post it somehow. I guess I can cut the beginning and then it posts itself as a video. I don't really know how to use YouTube properly sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk with my friend to get chocolate chip cookies. I had one yesterday and I want another one today. Who's gonna stop me? Nobody. Love you guys. Speak soon. If you have thoughts, feelings, questions, topic requests, let me know. Maybe there will be a new YouTube video this week. Maybe not. Love you. Enjoy your weekend as well. Happy weekend. Ciao, ciao, ciao.